I'm at my mother's house and I'm doing a to-do list. She's always got a list of stuff for me to do, and I'm out here by her bedroom outside. We've got a nice security door, and I just fixed that. The deadbolt was rubbing, and I just made a quick video on how to make the adjustments. But that wasn't even on my list, but I saw that and I knew it had to be done. The thing that was on my list is this exterior door that goes outside. Okay, this door is rubbing, and it's a nice door. It's been here for a long time. They've had the house for, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 years. And this door is hard for my mother to lock and open. Well, opening not so much, but locking. See, right there, it's hitting at the bottom of the threshold. It's hitting at the bottom. So she has to kind of pull hard. There's a weather stripping. Oh, there should be a weather stripping underneath there. In fact, I'm not even feeling one. But no weather stripping down there. But look at the bottom of the threshold. See, you can tell it's been rubbing on there. And isn't that odd? Oh, there is a rubber gasket. You see right there? That rubber pushes up against this, not on the bottom of the door. The bottom of the door, there's nothing, but it's on the edge. And the edge pushes up there. And it's kind of a different type of weather stripping. See how the door's been notched? The weather stripping is attached to the door, not to the door stop. The door stop has a little groove there, and the weather stripping kind of fits into that groove. That's kind of slick. And it looks like it does it all the way around at the top and the side. We've got the top there, and that's good. And then we got the weather stripping down there, okay? But here's what's going on with this, and I just worked on some doors that I had at my house, and so I'm a little familiar with this. It's slightly done a little bit different way on this particular door, but I think I can get it to work. And the handle goes down, and to lock it, you actually have to pull up on it. And as you pull up on hers, there's a prong that comes down. You see at the bottom? See that prong goes down, and when I pull the door handle up after I close it, doink, and this one goes out at the side at the top. I close the door all the way, and then lift the doorknob up. That goes in, and it catches. It catches in that strike and folds down on that. And we got the same thing on there, and it goes on down. That's kind of cool. This one, see, it actually has the hook part is facing up, so that fits in there, and the hook up here is facing down. Okay, and then after you pull the doorknob up like that, then you can throw the deadbolt, and it will go in. You can't do the deadbolt. See, the deadbolt's not going to come out until you lift the handle up. So you lift the handle up, it throws the side, two little knobs out, then you can do the deadbolt like that. Okay, so on this particular door, there's 3 points of locking. One the deadbolt, one up there, and one down there. Well, if you watch the doors that I adjusted at my house, there was five little areas. There was one at the very, very top going up. Then there was one on the side going out. And the deadbolt one, and then there was another one going on the side, and then one going down into the bottom. So there was a hole in the bottom, and there was a hole up top. On this particular door, it doesn't do that, okay? So now that you know how the door works, get on with it, Joe, right? Now, when you close the door, my mother's having an issue with locking the door. Because it's been rubbing, it's been sagging. The door is sagging down. So when she lifts this, she has a hard time. Did you hear that? It's not like really going all the way. Oh yeah, it is now. Okay, but you've got to kind of lift up on the door and then pull on it, and it's kind of catching. The reason why it's catching is because this door has sagged. And my mom, I can't tell her, just put your weight in it and lift up on the door and then do the handle and then do that. She can't do that. She wants to be able to do it all by her little lonesome without doing all that. She just wants to open it. She just wants to close the door, lock it like normal. So how is that going to work? Last time I was here, I kind of looked at the door a little bit and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't want to have to do it the way I normally do different things. And I was looking at the door and it looked pretty good to me. And I thought that's going to be a lot of work, because usually I take the hinge and flop it back on the door jamb, put some screws in there, suck the hinge over. And I wasn't quite sure how these hinges worked, because see, it doesn't look like there's any pin that pops out. There probably is, but I didn't go much further than that. And then when I looked on the side, these hinges look a little different. You see, have you ever seen a hinge kind of like this? Here's the screws. These two screws and those two screws up there are the ones that actually hit into the door. That's it. There's two set screws in here. Now look at the top. Two set screws up there. This one actually has 4 hinges. My door that I worked on only had 3. Here's 2 more screws there. I'm like, what is that? Well, that's how you can adjust your door. You need to get, see there, those are Allen set screws. So I need an Allen wrench first off. When I look over here, let's look at this some more. Yeah, I'm going to fix this door with only Allen wrench. An Allen wrench, and that's it. I can throw away everything else that I've got on my nail bag right now. I look at this hinge and I can see that there's a gap between the hinge and the door. It's like the hinge has been notched in here, and see the gap right there? You look at that gap on each hinge, and that tells me I can adjust those using those screws. Okay? And you see the gap at the bottom. There's not much gap from left to right there of the hinge, is there? And I look there, that's about the gap that I want at the bottom. And it's like, if you look at this door, you figure it's a square. You take the square, say you set a square block on the floor and lift it up. Lift it to the right a little bit. What does that do? Your square, that means your left-hand tip there would lift up. That means your right tip, your top left tip right there would lift up. That means your left tip right there would lift up. Your right tip would actually go to the right, and it would kind of move closer to the hinge. Now, and that's how we can do this. This door is rubbing at the bottom, remember? See, it's rubbing at the bottom. We've already known that. We see that it's rubbing on the threshold right there. And that's why we're having this issue with this door. Look at the door. Everything looks not too bad on it. But let's look at this a little bit closer. Look at the gap over here in the hinge. See, that's a nice gap there. Now let's see, we've got that same gap at the top of the door. Here the gap goes a little bit bigger. See here, look how big it is here. That's pretty big. So that tells me I can adjust that hinge, can't I? I can suck the hinge, those set screws in further, and then I'll take that door and pull it that way. And there is enough room to do that. When I do that, that's going to lift this end, this edge up, and it's going to lift it away from the side here. I see the gap on the side. That's fine, actually, on an exterior door. But for this certain circumstance, we've got to raise it up a little bit. And look at the gap at the bottom. See how big that gap is? That's because the door has sagged down.